Team PETA, Team Gale, Team PETA, Team Gale, Team PETA, Team Gale. First of all, Team Gale, don't crucify me. And second, can we please move on from this? Besides, nowadays, the fandom has a much more recent division that I find much more interesting. Time for another video series. I planned to be one video, but got too big for one. My thoughts on my favorite Hunger Games installment by far, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This will be 3 parts, but unlike my Skywalker Saga videos, will not reference each other or be under the same series title. Here's part 3. Are you Team The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or Team Sunrise on the Reaping? If you've watched just about any of my videos, you know I'm very much Team Ballad here. It's my favorite Hunger Games installment by far, although Sunrise is a very solid number 2 for me. So I don't get some of my fellow Team Ballad people criticizing Sunrise for feeling like fan fiction, and on the flip side, Team Sunrise people criticizing Ballad for being by far the worst and not a good place to be. In fact, even before Sunrise, I noticed this with Ballad for a while. It's certainly the Last Jedi of the Hunger Games, given far less controversial than the Last Jedi. It's certainly the Last Jedi of the Hunger Games, given far less controversial than The Last Jedi, but every single time I've seen somebody rank the installments of the Hunger Games, not once have I seen anyone put it in the middle. It's always definitely the best or by far the worst, and I think that's only been amplified by the release of Sunrise. So why is Ballad such a black sheep? Why is the fandom so divided on Sunrise versus Ballad, and what's the root of it? To start answering any of these questions, I think we must first establish the criticisms against Ballad that people who didn't like Ballad but did enjoy Sunrise have. There are a couple of notable ones, although the one that sticks out to me the most is I didn't like the main character. Now, to me, as someone firmly Team Ballad and a huge Coriolanus fangirl, this seems preposterous. He thinks in this horrible, demented way that started reasonably and was just twisted into what makes him this humanly vulnerable yet immovably evil villain. And while that's the thing I love most about him, I can see why that repulses a lot of people. And I think that's the true split of Team Ballad versus Team Sunrise. The question of, are you more uncomfortable with horrific injustice or understanding why it happens? Sunrise is undoubtedly the most gory, horrific, brutal, and depressing installment of the Hunger Games, but that is its own safety blanket. Every bad thing happens to somebody who doesn't deserve it, so you know who to feel sorry for, who deserves your sympathy, who is in the right. It's all certain. It's an emotional safe zone where you can feel outraged and know that you are in the right. It is horrible, but comforting to many. Ballad is a lot more emotionally risky. It's really easy to go into it gunning for Corio, despising him for what he's done in the future, and taking everything he does as proof that he was always just like that. But Ballad gives the character a lot of nuance and forces its audience to confront it, to understand why somebody could become something so horrible, why people do terrible things, to not judge somebody you know is on trial. And to me, that's comforting. Knowing that most of the time, the people who do terrible things didn't start out that way, they're just people like you or me with vulnerabilities and weaknesses and can be manipulated and maybe, just maybe, do the right thing. I don't know about my fellow Team Ballad people, but that's comforting, especially in a fictional setting, and a more apathetic perspective on them is uncomfortable and or boring. And more importantly, sure, I can handle understanding why evil is evil. I actually enjoy it. But I do not enjoy thinking about a little boy who, in terms of intelligence and temperament, reminds me all too much of my own little brother get eaten alive by mutant squirrels. No, thank you. We've established why that can be comforting to some people, but that is not me. To me, that is my little brother dying horrifically, and I cannot handle that. No, thank you. So to recap, you can tell me why you think the fandom is so split on Ballad and Sunrise, but from my understanding, Team Sunrise people criticize Ballad for being a 500-page sorry excuse for somebody who sent a little boy to get eaten alive by mutant squirrels without a comfortable emotional draw, whereas Sunrise is a heartfelt, brutal, and nostalgic tale worth fighting for. Team Ballad people criticize Sunrise for feeling like fan fiction, a bit too overly graphic and dramatic without enough substance, whereas Ballad is a beautiful, haunting, and nuanced tale worth every thought it's provoked. Effectively, brutal and gory injustice comforts Sunrise people and makes Ballad people uncomfortable and or bored, whereas understanding why brutal and gory injustice happens comforts and or interests Ballad people and makes Sunrise people uncomfortable and or bored. Tell me your thoughts, whether you're Team Sunrise or Team Ballad, like me. Leave a purple heart in the comments for Sunrise, a green one for Ballad, or an orange if you're not sure. And as always,
with the chat up line, is that a rose on your arm, or are you just happy to see me?